Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. This is going to be another Power Rangers Cosmic Fury-esque discussion video, primarily revolving around SPD, and honestly it's kind of just a will the franchise address SPD's place in the timeline anytime soon video. Like, Cosmic Fury is being directly mentioned because we are going to we're going to space, Power Rangers on the brain. It's like putty on the brain, but more Power Rangers. I don't know, there was a joke there and I lost it. Bottom line is not only is Power Rangers going to space again and SPD originated in space, but we are also very close to the year in which SPD took place. SPD took place in 2025. It's currently 2022, but it will be 2023 when this airs. And, you know, presumably Dino Fury takes place either in 2022 or 2023, which means it's 3 years away from SPD taking place. Which, you know, means a lot of things. Like, sometimes, I mentioned this in my other video I recently did, but I think people think like, oh, aliens arrived on Earth in 2025. It's like, no, they were supposedly there for a while. Because I always bring this up, but we had that flashback in the Sam episode that showed Z in school, you know, as a young girl, elementary school, getting made fun of, and there were alien kids in the classroom, unless I'm Mandela affecting that. And so it was kind of established that aliens had been living on Earth for a while. I talked about in another video during Beast Morphers, because we had the SPD props showing up for the Ranger Vault, which caused some confusion. And I raised the question, like, are we just going to make SPD on another Earth? Which would be so much easier in a lot of ways to just say it's on another Earth. But some people have brought up, which is also a good idea, do a slight tweak retcon where you just say that, like, aliens don't live on all of Earth yet, and it's only like select cities, like coming to a select theater near you, aliens living in your city. And that would be cities like the Rafcon people living in Dino Fury City, that's name escapes me at the moment, and stuff like New Tech City, which I think will be pretty easy to do. The question is are we going to even address it, whether it be in Cosmic Fury or the mmpr Union Special or whatever. I mean, we still don't know whether we're going to be doing a reset for the continuity completely when the reboot comes. We know the reboot's going to be in its own world, but we don't know if the old continuity is going to be taking a break. So it's like, if that's true, we're only going to have a little bit of time to possibly address it. It's not like it's hugely important to me, but I'm definitely curious. Just because, like, they've been addressing certain plot holes recently, you know, using the Morphin Masters to explain where powers came from that we didn't know about, like, you know, and Energems and the Nexus Prism, and explaining events like the Legendary Battle and Grid Connection, recontextualizing them. So clearly they thought of, like, hey, what are some gaps we can fill in while we have the opportunity and the vehicle? And, like, they had to have thought of SPD, right? Even if it's just a mention. I mentioned this in my video talking about things we could see in Cosmic Fury that are space-related, but I think it would be really easy, like, in an episode of Cosmic Fury, to have them run into SPD officers or cadets from another branch, because they do exist in space. They started off in space, which we established in SPD itself, and have them run into them. Like, you don't even have to have any returning characters. I mean, because they would have to come from the future, and it feels like if they're coming from the future, they'd be coming from 5 minutes from now. But you don't even have, right now, they do exist right now. Like, it's funny to think that characters in SPD are like 3 years younger than when we met them in the current timeline. Anyway, point is, you don't have to have anybody we've met. You could have Kruger. I don't know if they still have the suit. But the point is, you don't have to have anybody they've met. You could just meet some new alien characters from a different branch of SPD, and you have Solon say something like, oh yeah, we have a relatively young branch on our planet based in New Tech City, one of the city that houses aliens on our planet. I would be happy with that. I think that would be really cool to finally just answer that question, sort of bridge all this lore together. I think Cosmic Fury being in space and being so close to SPD offers us the perfect opportunity to do something like that. I mean, recently in the comics, they expanded on this lore in that version of the universe where the Omega Rangers were in space, and they, you know, met up with an older version of SPD that was in space. That would be something similar you could do for this series, and I think it would be nice to address that one way or the other. Again, it's not hugely important to me, like in a fans deserve it way, but, like, it's just they've been addressing so many things recently. I think this would be the perfect opportunity to address that. I don't think they're going to make it on its own Earth, but maybe they would too, and say, hey, this is SPD's Earth. That would create some questions because they did team up with Dino Thunder, so they probably couldn't do that. So that would be a harder retcon now. Point is, I think it would be neat to address. You know, it would be so easy to do. Like, I don't need a big to-do about it. Just some sort of line in passing would be nice. I think it would put a years-long debate at rest. And I think ultimately what maybe we can all agree on is when they were making SPD, they should have set it farther in the future. This would make it so much easier. Like, that's why Time Force is nice. That's the year 3000. We don't got to worry about that, like, for a really long time. Like something like 2100 or something. You know, something like kind of attainable, but like that we're not running into so soon. But anyways, guys, what do you think? What do you think the likelihood of us addressing SPD and finally connecting it are? How would you like to see them do it? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps to ring that bell so you can get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.